Hi everyone, Al the Psych here. I have a video for you today for informational purposes only, where I'm reviewing a book called Inner Excellence. This is by uh, Jim Murphy. Now, the book, as I understand it, is supposed to be a sports psychology book, but if you read it, it's really more of a life philosophy uh, sort of book. So don't, if you're not into sports, don't let the sports psychology end of it uh, kind of deter you from looking at this book. It's more than that. Okay. So what I've done is I've just tried to kind of pick out the gems from the book and make it into a short video. And you'll need to read the book to get all the information about it. The way I'm going to start off my notes is with what he calls the affluenza virus. So he says Western culture exposes us daily to the affluenza virus, the most dangerous type of virus, one that can steal your soul. Okay, and the virus idolizes five things: possessions, achievements, looks, physical appearance, money, and status. So he says these five symbols of success can steal your true dreams by getting you to focus on them instead of what's truly meaningful, empowering, and permanent. The affluenza virus injects you with the constant desire to gain more and compare yourself with others, and it's never satisfied. Okay, so this phenomenon divides your heart and distances you from your true self. And in the book, he speaks of your true self a lot. Okay, as others praise or covet your symbols of success, you get a momentary sense of pride, a false sense of worth, which spurs you to chase after more of what you were praised for. Okay, you're not necessarily working on your true self, but you're just you've been reinforced, so you want to continue to chase those idols, I guess you might want to say. The most influential part of the virus is not the lust for more, but rather the lust for more than others. This is kind of like a jealousy versus envy type of scenario that I have a video on. You'd have to see it to kind of understand what I'm talking about, but it's not like you would want something like that, what that person has. It's like you want what that person has and you don't want him to have it. Okay, now, if your goal is to win an Olympic gold medal or become CEO of Google, that's awesome. But as you learn inner excellence, that's what the book is all about, inner excellence, you'll see the need for a much higher goal than that. See how the way he frames things? Okay. In the end, he says the biggest victory isn't about getting something shiny, fast, and lavish, winning a gold medal, a corner office, or a national championship, but rather winning the battle within yourself. The battle for your heart is the way he talks about it. He talks about your true self. He talks about your heart. If every performance we undertake, we choose between our attachment to winning and our deep desire to feel fully alive, to learn and grow and become more at peace, more stable, more able to experience powerful, fulfilling moments. Okay. So again, doesn't sound a lot like, kind of like a speech you would have gotten in high school athletics from your coach. Now, most of us have gotten sidetracked by our culture's definition of success and become defined by our feelings and performance, obsessing about what we want, good results, but can't control. Okay. Again, I'm just taking this directly from the book. People who have changed the world, according to Maslow, and he talks about Maslow a lot, were able to set their hearts and minds on long-term personal growth rather than external rewards. So this enabled them to develop inner strength that carried them through tough times. Okay. Now, Dr. Timothy Keller, author of The Freedom of Self-Forgetfulness, says, pride destroys the ability to have any real pleasure. Keller explains, the ego is always drawing attention to itself. It is incredibly busy trying to fill the emptiness. And it is incredibly busy doing two things in particular, comparing and boasting. The way the ego tries to fill its emptiness is by comparing itself to other people all the time. So competitiveness is at the very heart of pride. Okay, remember, this is kind of like a sports psychology book, but he's putting in that quote from Dr. Keller. Interesting. Now, when we're in the presence of someone who is more successful, more intelligent, or good looking than we are, okay, we lose all pleasure in what we had. Okay, that's because we really had no pleasure in it. We were proud of it. Okay, that's his take on that. He's got something I want type of thing. And he mentions the three great adversaries we all face in our efforts to be focused and confident. They are the critic, monkey mind, as he puts it, and trickster. So the critic judges everything, gives a negative verdict, and reacts emotionally to it. The monkey mind overanalyzes and gets cluttered with too many unproductive thoughts. And the trickster lies to us and tricks us into settling for less. Okay. So learning to expect nothing is an interesting little note that he put in. Learning to expect nothing and be prepared for anything is a good way to stay present and win the inner battle. It doesn't mean you don't expect abundance or to win. It means you're not attached to any circumstances that might arise. So the author also discusses many techniques that can be used. For example, anchoring, relaxation, self-affirmation, mantras, etc. And some of those techniques are common in neuro-linguistic programming. So sounds like he's kind of borrowing from that. And there's a lot of information on NLP out there as well. Just, in terms of books and on online and everything. Now, during performance, there are no thoughts about the outcome whatsoever when you're fully present. And he mentions Bruce Lee, martial artist Bruce Lee. He says Bruce Lee put it this way. The great mistake is to anticipate the outcome of the engagement. You ought not to be thinking of whether it ends in victory or in defeat. And then 2 points that he has here. He says, routines are the foundation of inner excellence. Your life is a series of routines, intentional or not. Okay? The results in your life are mostly from the habits of thoughts and behaviors you've had up to now. And number 2, let go of what you can't control. If you're unable to do your routine, that's how it's supposed to be that day. But be meticulous about your routines, but never attached to them. Okay, so interesting book. I'm going to end it with a little paragraph that is from Dr. Keller. I thought this was a great paragraph. And again, I don't know if you'd hear many coaches talking like this. So again, this is more of a life philosophy book. But here we go. Wouldn't you like to be the skater who wins the silver and yet is thrilled about those 3 triple jumps the gold medal winner did? Okay. To love it the way you love a sunrise, just to love the fact that it was done. For it not to matter whether it was their success or your success. Not to care if they did it or you did it. You are as happy that they did it as if you had done it yourself, because you are just so happy to see it. Okay, wow. Okay, interesting stuff. You might want to just try and digest that. The book is a fairly long one, but like I said, it's not just a sports psychology book. It's more of a life psychology book. Interesting read. Okay, that's it for now.